All right, so if you would come into a more meditative position, whatever that is for you. And I'm aware that you in the corner may not be able to see this, but these are your Akashic affirmations up here in the basket. They're all in this top basket, and they're here to be energized and blessed by the Kryon energy as it comes into the room. Again, still. So, eyes closed for just a moment. Breathing softly into your heart. Exhaling through your heart, through your feet, into the crystalline grid below us. Feeling the energy of the divine above and around us. And as your breath takes you into a more receptive, softened state, building on what we've done here today, let yourself feel the energy, the healing that comes through with the words of Kryon, and the honoring that Kryon gives humanity, each one of us, for our courage in taking a human life and making it into something extraordinary.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. Some of you know I've already been channeling. You felt it. You know it happens. It's part of the meld that my partner and I have developed. When I asked him if he was ready to go to another level. And it's the same level that I ask you the same question about. You cannot have everyone the same, and you know you're not. Your Akash is so different. Each one of you, you might say, is a specialist on this planet, very, very unique. The lives you've had, the languages you've spoken, the cultures you've been in since the beginning, some of you, are really remarkable. And so you cannot then give one statement to all, one instruction to all, one question to all. But you can give the same question to an individual soul. And so I'm talking to the core of each. That which you would call the eternal part of you. Do you believe you will return, or at least that you continue past your death? And if you do, what is it and what part of it that is you continues? There's a core within you that has always been here, life after life. Your higher self, if you wish to call it that, is your best friend. It is the only thing that you have that is similar from lifetime to lifetime. And so you hang on to that. Unless it is, however, that you've lost track of it. This energy is going to promote a situation where you then connect again, where you realize again, where energetically you recognize and remember again. I had my partner consider naming this very meeting today, not mining the Akash, but mining the crystalline Akash. Because we have used the word crystalline over and over as a remembrance. And the remembrance this day is of the core. For those who are not here and listening later, I am surrounded in this chair by beautiful lights. Each one has been individually carried by the human being with intent, who also has written something on a piece of paper and put it next to me where I sit. All of these things are metaphoric. God knows all. On the other side of the veil, I will tell you that energetically, all of you are known. Not just known, but there's a place for you there. It's a part of the fabric of the universe. It's the core of you. It hides while you're a human being. You hope it's real, what I'm saying to you. But past the shift that has happened, now we can tell you you have the ability to recognize it's real, to remember it's real. Every individual light I have around me represents a life. But to me, it's a soul. If you were to project each soul and how many times that soul has inhabited an expression or a lifetime on the planet, I'm looking at tens of thousands of lights. But that's not how I see you. I see the few of you as some of the original souls on the planet, trying to work a puzzle that we have talked about and predicted now for 26 years. And for some of you sitting here, this puzzle is heartbreaking. And I know who you are. And if I told you that there is purpose and love in these things, you would then wonder where it is. And so part of this cognizing the truth is to see the compassion in all things and understand there is reason. Sometimes you agree to have certain issues so that others will be able to change. Sometimes you yourself will change because of others and what they have gone through or they've done or what they've said. And then as life goes forward, you realize what they did for you. And you wonder, was this an accident? Was there purpose? I'll tell you, you came in with an agreement. And it was one of such compassion that during this shift, you had to do it. No other time was more purposeful than this one. Old souls are going through a lot. And each soul, each one of your core souls, right now, in front of me, represented by a light, agreed to it. Not only that, but you agreed to see the truth at some time and with free will, recognize it or not, with free will. And what is that truth? I'll tell you what it is. That everything you thought was static is not. Everything is changeable. Everything is changeable. It's the appropriateness of the change that you will decide for yourself and others as you play out things one with another. But the question I want to ask you, the one that I ask my partner, the soul question is this: are you ready to go to the next level? The level is a meld, a 24/7 relationship with Spirit. My partner did not have that some years ago, and now he does. It affects him. It has affected him. It has given him issues and problems. He looks at life different. Not all those around him do. For you, it is the same. For the shift is here, and so many of you were saying, what can I do that's different? What should I then accomplish which is different? What can I ramp up now that is different? And we say it again. Until you have this meld and feel it and live this truth 24/7, anything you do, listen, is useless. You've come to a point now where the core of you is going to start awakening, and many of you are going to reject it because it feels too good. We spoke to groups recently, and we actually said, what's wrong with you? Where is the joy factor? You say that you are beautiful, spiritual people, and all you do is hunch over and moan about things. You don't have a cheerful face. You're always suffering, like God wants you to suffer as some kind of payment to be alive. You all are part of a beautiful universe that has light beyond measure. You're going to start understanding that the meld will give you this joy factor no matter what is happening in your life. It is an understanding beyond what you think you should have. It's a peace that goes beyond anything that should be there. People will see you, the issues around you, and they will see a beaming face, not of laughter or frivolity, but of joy and wisdom and maturity. And they'll say, what have you got? And you won't be able to describe it, but I can. That your DNA literally is starting to shift in a multidimensional way, and the higher self is inhabiting every part of it. Humans in an old religious and spiritual culture, you did your best. You found that which you wanted to emulate, be it a prophet or a system, and then you compartmented it. Compartmentalization is something that humans do because of the linearity of your thinking. That which you tried to emulate, then you put on a pedestal, and you worship or learn about it or give classes upon it. You put it in a place. You put on different clothes at a certain time, or take off your shoes going into a sacred place where that thing is that you wish to emulate or worship or honor even. And there you're in that place or that building for a little while. And then you come out, you put on your shoes, and you go change your clothes and live normal. Am I getting through? The question: are you ready to take off your shoes full time? That's a metaphor. Are you ready to see the divinity of what you're trying to emulate inside and not outside? I'll say it again. Are you ready to take off your shoes full time? Are you ready to see the divinity of emulation, everything you've ever wanted, come from inside instead of outside? And that requires something that we talk about constantly, a re-evaluation of self-worth. Do you deserve it? Is it proper? If I had one thing to say to you and had to leave the planet, I would say, correct this and understand that there's no reason to be ashamed of the beauty of God. Why do you hide in the corners so often instead of showing your light? And showing your light is being balanced. And we've said this before. It's not climbing to the top of a tower and hollering out what you're trying to emulate. It's emulating it and letting people see you emulate it. It's having the light and the wisdom. It's not being angry so often. It's smiling more regardless of what's going on in your life. It's being peaceful. I have said this so many times, dear ones. Your DNA is working on trying to have a greater efficiency in the old soul body. And when it does, you're going to live longer. But it's not going to get through unless there's more laughter. Laughter is the release that says it's okay. It's okay. Laughter actually chases fear away, sometimes for a moment, sometimes forever. But it takes a full reevaluation of your self-worth. Are you ready to go to a 24/7? Now, don't misunderstand me. There are some who enjoy building an altar or having ceremonies, taking off their shoes, putting them back on. Let that become something that is ceremony instead of your life. Let it is something that honors when things should be honored. But when you climb in your car, you get in with the emulation. When you may have an errand to the store and you're looking for things to shop, do you know that your soul is still there and God is still there and all the things that you're feeling right here today is still there? Why do you want to turn it off? When you have to go into work or solve some very 3D puzzles or do things that you would think have nothing to do with spiritual attributes, there is a tendency, really, to leave God outside until you're done. And that's habit. And then there are those who will say, I'm simply not worthy of this. I'm simply not worthy. And I'm going to say it again, improperly perhaps. What leader you trusted told you that? It's not a betrayal to find truth and light that is beyond what you were told. It is not a betrayal of friendship or family. It's not a betrayal for you to discover a grander truth than you were told by somebody else. Why should you build an old box and stay in it simply because somebody told you that's the way it works? And there are so many who do and will. And that's your free choice. Compassion is the key. I'll make a statement from this stage this weekend. That's what I want to talk about. It's the thing that everything boils down to, as you say. It distills itself to one property: compassion. And I'm not talking about compassion for others. I'm talking about you with you. Can you have compassion for yourself? Can you look at your life today, understand that you are a product of thousands of lives? There's work to do, and you've got to get beyond that which is an old paradigm where you don't think you're worth it, or it's not going to happen correctly, or you still don't understand what to do. Or you're looking at it and you're saying, is this correct or not? Is there something I'm doing wrong? There is none of that, dear ones. You are part of God, not some structure that would ask those questions. My partner said something today during the exercise, but it wasn't my partner. These are precious, what's on these cards. But I don't see with the eyes like you do, or read in the language that you wrote them in. I feel the energy of the soul that wrote them. And I know what you really want. Not what's written on it. That's new. Could God care enough for you that you are so well known? That's why you got to be 24/7. You can't report and then leave and report and leave to a building or a place or even an energy. Because what you have to do, dear ones, in this lifetime, in the next, and in the next, is change this planet completely. And there's only one way to do that. You will awaken with new awareness. I've said it before. I want you to hear it, old soul, right now. Because of your choice to be here on the planet now, listen to these kinds of things. You will have a refreshed Akash and one that's working better. You will awaken with knowledge that you belong here. You will have greater wisdom even as a child. You will not make the mistakes you made this time around. You will be seen by others as wise. All of you will have the potential of becoming teachers in some level, in some way, of the new souls that need to hear what you have, and you'll carry an Akashic crystalline remembrance that is acute and stronger than anything that's ever occurred on the planet. It starts with this generation, but it has already been happening to a lower level for almost 50 years. The new children have it. That's why they're such a problem. They're wiser than you are. They refuse the older systems because they see them as older systems. There is a full rejection of what you give them in almost every area because they know better. They're a handful because they know better. And it's difficult to know in which way to turn and how to handle them. And we've told you all along, if you take that child and you look them in the eye and you acknowledge, you know they know better, you'll have a friend. If you're obstinate, you're part of the old energy. If you're 24/7, dear ones, you're right with them. And they see you. There's no generation gap. Try it out. Some of them are here. This is the new human being. A paradigm that really is different. There is a future to the Akash that is beyond anything that has happened. That's what I just told you. But the one that is there now, living in you, as I look at these lights, is ready to shift. A statement was made on the stage. You don't have to pass away anymore and come back with a refreshed, renewed idea in order to evolve. The evolution of human consciousness is here now, available in the old souls who sit in front of me. The idea that you can reach in and perhaps touch the wisdom that you have learned and earned on this planet is absolute. If you go away from here with no other truth, know that. And yet there will be those who leave here and say, I enjoyed it, but I don't know what to do. And then I'm going to tell you 24/7, take your shoes off and listen. Because all of the guidance that you need is synchronistic, because God knows who you are, where you are, what you need, what you want. And it's new. Can you imagine that kind of a relationship 24/7? It can only happen to an old soul. The new ones are not mature enough. They haven't been here long enough. They're still learning how the earth works. You know how the earth works. Now, find out how God inside works. That's enough for today. Blessings to all those who would come to a meeting about something so nebulous and nonlinear, and then leave with an idea that it's doable and possible. And not only that, because of it, you'll live longer. It's the beginning of something grand. That's the message. And it's not the message that you needed to hear. It's the truth that simply is here. And so it is.